Did you know Indonesia is the fourth largest country in the world in terms of population? Indonesia has 276.4 million people. That's 3.5% of the entire population in the world. This number seems small, but to put that into perspective, that's more than 5 times the population of South Korea, more than twice the population of Japan. Indonesia has an area of 1,905 kilometers squared. That's about half the entire area of the Southeast Asia and about the size of France, Kenya, Afghanistan, and Japan combined. We are Shelton and Slava, students of Handong Global University. Now let me show you Indonesia. Indonesia's economy experienced unprecedented growth. Let us take a look at these statistics. If you compare it to the United States, you can see that even though the income level is shifted much lower than in the US, the pattern is the same. And as you can see, the income growth in Indonesia seems to be growing too. Why is this impressive? Because its economic growth is parallel to its population growth, and its growth is exponential. To have a better understanding of that, let us look at this graph. Vertically, you can see that the child mortality rate has decreased substantially and its life expectancy grown. This means that quality of life has overall improved very much. Today, Indonesia's child mortality rate is 16.5 deaths per 1,000 births, and the life expectancy is about 70 years old. To put that into perspective, the United States took about 100 years to achieve this, but for Indonesia, it only took about 60 years. Its independence has greatly improved its quality of life. Though many countries experience such improvements, one thing that makes Indonesia unique is its population pyramid. A population pyramid shows the age of its population. A healthy curve is one that widens slowly as it goes down. Take a look at the US for example. An unhealthy one looks similar to South Korea's or Japan's. The reason why is that as the life expectancy of the older population increases, the number of younger population is decreasing. This means that as the younger generation grows up, not only they need to support themselves, but also support the older population. Indonesia's graph shows very good proportions. As the population is growing, the population growth rate is also growing well. This ensures stable support and increases for the next few generations. This brings me to the next potential of Indonesia, its population density. Many countries have good population growth, but it simply does not have enough land to support their growth. Other countries have large areas but not enough population to make optimal use of them. Some examples include Singapore with 8,323 people per kilometer squared, South Korea with 531 people per kilometer squared, and India with 477 people per kilometer squared. Imagine this. Handong, our university, is about 0.8 kilometers squared. And say Singapore. Can you imagine 6,600 people living in Handong? Indonesia's population density is only 147. Remember, Indonesia has the fourth largest population in the world, yet has such low population density. That's how big Indonesia is. And that's not even done yet. Let us take a look at Indonesia's natural resources. Indonesia has the world's third largest forest, the largest natural gas exporter in the world, ninth largest gold producer in the world, third largest rice producer in the world, and is the largest spice producer in the world. More to mention is its unsurpassed plant life and biological life. There is a saying, if you plant any seed in Indonesia, it will grow. This natural potential is greater than most countries and on par with the richest countries in the world. This begs the question, why is Indonesia not up there with the richest? Before I tell you the answer, let us take a look at Singapore, a country about 2,700 times smaller than Indonesia and half the size of Phuong in terms of its area, and its population only a mere fraction of around 0.02% compared to Indonesia. But at the moment, Singapore is the second most powerful country in the world in terms of income. That's more than the United States, by the way. I believe the answer to be education. Let us take a look at this graph. Notice that Singapore experienced dramatic growth in its education within a very short time, and that directly contributes to its income. In my opinion, that is the root problem in Indonesia. The way I see it, Indonesia is a dormant desert waiting for the right time for rain. More about this later. Like many other countries, Indonesia has its own fair share of problems. The first, which I consider to be the largest stumbling block, is corruption. The scale of corruption may be large, but the critical aspect is Indonesia's culture of corruption. Indonesia currently ranks 96 in the Corruption Perception Index. The United States ranks at 27 and South Korea at 32. 89% of corruption in Indonesia occurs at the local level. This brings me to the second factor, which is the lack of government attention on its own economic, technological, infrastructure, and education development. For example, most of its great natural resources have been exported unprocessed and raw. The ironic thing is that those processed products are imported for a much higher price. It lacks government incentive and supports to process its resources. Some may argue that Indonesia is thriving in development. That is, however, only true for certain areas. Take a look at this picture. There's great imbalance between areas in Indonesia. The population density of its capital city, Jakarta, is 15,978 people per kilometer squared. That's more than twice of Singapore. While Bali, like many more popular cities in Indonesia, has about 750 people per kilometer squared, and many other areas with less than 30 people per kilometer squared. This also correlates with important quality of life factors such as infrastructure, technology, and most importantly, education. The lack of education also causes other setbacks such as not understanding how to care for the environment and lack of technological accessibility in most areas. The leaders of Indonesia have, in fact, understood this and taken action against it. More and more people in Indonesia are being educated. Indonesia could be in a bad state, but the statistics show that it is getting better. The better the education is, the more people know how to help their country. Indonesia today has one of the best leaders in the world who aims for a transparent government. Jokowi has impacted Indonesia more than just a clean government. He has shaped this generation to fight against corruption collectively. Now, I will turn the question to me. How can I help? What can I do to support the change? Simply speaking, the answer is an ethical community. An aspect that I am especially interested is in ethics education. Psalms 24 verse 4 to 5 says, "He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not lift up his soul to what is false, and does not swear deceitfully, he will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation." I believe God is working greatly in Handong. Its mission to change the world goes hand in hand with its goal to uphold the honor code. I want to bring this culture to Indonesia. Our Buckminster Fuller says, "Integrity is the essence of everything successful." Starting from small communities, the spread of this ideology will eventually raise more ethical and responsible citizens. Yes, Indonesia has many corrupt leaders, some of the worst in history in fact. But Indonesia is also blessed with leaders that this generation can look up to. Jokowi saved an economically declining country, set new impressive standards, bridged political divides, built and maintained good relations with countries all over the world, and prepared Indonesia with amazing infrastructure support for its future development. All this starts with integrity and transparency. One of his biggest goals is to achieve a fully transparent government. Another famous figure is Basuki Cahayapurnama, more commonly known as Ahok. He took on the most corrupt city in Indonesia, Jakarta, and turned it around. As one of the dirtiest and most polluted cities in Indonesia, Jakarta experiences floods every year. In his reign, for the first time in a long time, did not experience flooding, where projects would be over-budgeted, over-timed, and under-delivered. Under his rule, they saved money and worked more efficiently while still maintaining quality. One of his biggest goals is not just to clean the city physically, but also politically. Now imagine Ahoks and Jokowis popping up everywhere, and it already has. Indonesia would be able to properly take care and make good use of its environment, which would increase its quality of life and decrease criminal rates. Indonesia has a very bright future, with its citizens being educated ethically and leaders like Ahok and Jokowi as a role model. Without a doubt, Indonesia will rise to the top of the world.